Welcome back to another beautiful day in the land of music. My name is Douglas, and in today's video, I want to compare the organ section on the Nord Stage 4 with the beautiful Nord Organ 3. It's been a minute since I've done a video on the Organ 3, but I wanted to pull it back out and do a few comparisons, the first being with the Nord Stage 4. Now, they're both Nord organs, right? So they should be pretty similar. I'm hearing a little bit of a difference in the sound between them set on the same exact settings. So I'm going to play those for you. This video is primarily going to be about the B3 sound. I'm going to do some drawbar tests, some rotary speaker, and then I'll talk a little bit about feature differences, some of the extra organ functionality you do get on the Nord Organ 3 because it's dedicated to just organs. So let's start off with the sound. I've got my levels set. I'm just going stereo left and right out of both of these into my Focusrite 8i6 audio interface, into Pro Tools, and then I'm just matching the volume to my voice within Premiere Pro as I edit the video to get that audio level synced up for you guys. And so that's all I'm doing. No additional effects or post-processing that I'm doing on these sounds. So I'm hearing some stuff when I play this. I'm gonna play just a little bit of the B3. And what I've done here is I've got just a little bit of stage reverb. I have the B3. I'm gonna just use the upper manual on the Nord Organ 3 for now. No percussion, no vibrato chorus. And we're going with the B3 model here. No drive on our speaker, but the speaker is on. And then I have the first 3 drawbars pulled out on the upper manual here on the Nord Organ 3 and a layer A on the Nord Stage 4. I'll talk about layering and the differences there in a couple of minutes here, but let's just check out how this sounds. I'll do another with stop mode turned on both of them. I'll turn percussion on as well on both of these. I'm actually going to do soft, decay, and the harmonic third, just like I've got here. I don't know if you can hear that, but I'm hearing some differences there. Let's take it all back to 0. B3, all the drawbars back, all the drawbars back, and let's do a little bit of a sound test on the drawbar. So I'm just gonna play a couple of notes. Maybe I'll do a D and an A. I'm gonna bring those drawbars forward and I'm gonna compare each one so you can hear as we go. So I'm gonna stop talking and get to playing. So starting with a 16 foot, I'm gonna put my Leslie on slow, just do that D and A. I'm gonna compare these and work through them. So I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm hearing a little more clarity on the Nord Organ 3. Now I want to mention no equalizer is turned on either of these. So yeah, you could change some of that with the equalizer by brightening up the organ on the Nord Stage 4. But I feel like whether it's modeled clarity or whether it's just baseline EQ clarity that the Nord Organ 3 has, to me, it sounds better. Let's go with something like half on our, so all the way out on the first two and the fourth, and about halfway on the third. Let's take a look at the menu here. And I know you can't see that, but I'm going to come over to my organ settings and we're going to check these out. So I'm going to come into my settings here. So on the organ 3, the horn acceleration, rotary acceleration, and horn and rotary speed are both set to medium. It's low, medium, high on the organ 3. On the Nord Stage 4 are set to normal instead of medium, but it's low, normal, high. So I would say it's set very similarly. The only thing I have is the rotary horn acceleration is on low. Let's bring that up to normal so we are match there. And then we have a 50-50 balance, 60-40 on the Nord, so let's make that the same. And then if we look at the rest of the settings, we're on our vintage 2 here. Yep, so everything's the same there. So if we exit out of that, exit out of that. Let's do all 4 out, that way we can get really equal. I'm still hearing more clarity in the Nord Organ 3. I actually think the volume. Now, what's interesting is with the volume, I'm just a touch over half on my master volume on the Nord Organ 3. I'm maxed out on the Nord Stage 4. So the volume output of the Organ 3 considerably higher, which I'm not mad about. I think the Organ 3, the realism is a little bit more there. So they've definitely tweaked some things on the modeling side. Could that just be an OS update on the Nord Stage 4? That's not up to me to say, but that would be really cool if they could update the organs. Now, my guess is that the next stage is probably going to have the next generation of organ in it. That would be my guess. Again, none of this is official. It's all my speculation. But just looking at how Nord has done things in the past is oftentimes features and things like that, unless they're minor, generally wait for new releases. I would love to see them upgrade the organ just to add that extra clarity and realism. Now, when we talk about features and things like that, there are some differences here. So on the Organ 3, we have a bunch of different bass models. And so talking about that a little bit, let's talk about layering. So Nord Stage 4, we have 2 organ layers. So we could set up a split, could do an upper and a lower and have 2 different drawbar setups. Now within there, we also have this preset button here. So we could have 2 saved drawbar setups, but they're not physical. Only one of them is a physical drawbar because I only have 1 set of drawbars. But theoretically, I could set up an upper manual, a lower manual, and I could have 2 drawbar setups saved for each. I actually did this at a show recently. I set up kind of my normal organ and then a solo version as a second drawbar setup on that layer. And I could switch between them with a preset button very easily, which is fine. But on the Organ 3, you actually have 4 physical drawbar setups, 2 for your upper, 2 for your lower. Now, only the upper manual B and the lower manual A have LEDs. The other 2 are non-LED drawbars, but at least they're physical drawbars. We can do the same things like switch between the saved preset drawbar settings or switch to the physical drawbar location, can do that on both of them. There's additional settings when it comes to the rotary speaker on the Organ 3. We have our different speaker types, but we also have mic positions on those types. And we also have 3 drive types. Compared to the Nord stage, our drive and things are a little bit simpler there. But we do have a drive and mount knob, so bring that to about 6. Do the same thing here. I'm getting a lot more volume boost on the Nord Stage 4. So on this particular, I think drive type 2. So I'll drop the volume back on that. So I think the Organ 3 does a better job of not overextending the volume when I've got that drive set, which I'm always having to keep in mind with the Nord Stage 4 and the Nord Stage 3, was when I brought the drive in, it increased the volume of that organ. So I had to make sure to accommodate for that. Whereas with the Organ 3, it's just adding the drive in, but not, dramatically increasing the volume of that organ sound. Now, keybed wise, this has it's not touch sensitive for the organs in here, but it is touch sensitive capable if you're going through MIDI and controlling other sounds. But for the organs, it's just 100% of the velocity, which is standard to what a tone wheel organ would be. Now, obviously, you have 2 keybeds here, 61 key. On my Nord, I have the 88 weighted key version. Still utility enough. I play organs on this all the time. And pianos. Now, obviously, the keybed on the Organ 3 is much better. Waterfall style, no lip on the front. You had a little lip on the 4. Now, when we look at the compact version of, let's say, the Stage 3 or the Stage 4, you have similar waterfall style keys. But I think the compact feels more like the Viscount Legend 1. It's a little spongier, whereas the keybed on the Organ 3, not spongy in the least, feels really solid and good. I didn't have any sound through here, but we could easily add that. So we've got the ability to play both of these at the same time. Again, we could split the 4, do that there. Where the Organ 3 had some additional functionalities, we have 2 drawbars for our bass, our 16 and our 8. Whereas on the 4, we could go to the B3 bass model, which then enables kind of just the first 2 drawbars of that layer, but it takes a layer. And so then it takes away my ability to have an upper and a lower manual and separate drawbars for my B3 bass. So just keep that in mind. You kind of got 3 layers on the Organ 3 in terms of the drawbar setups. Now, what the Organ 3 doesn't have is the ability to select 2 different organ models on my upper and my lower keybed. So, we've got to kind of keep that in mind. Whereas on the Stage 4, I could do a Farfisa and a B3 on my A and my B layers respectively, and have 2 different types of organs. On the Organ 3, we just have the 1 organ model that we're selecting and playing on both our drawbar setups. So let's do a little test on the rotary speaker. Take the drive off on both of these. Again, I have the speed, acceleration, all of that stuff set the same on both of these. So I'm going to do, let's just go with, we'll do the full 4. And then I'm going to do a slow to fast, back to slow on both of these. And then I'm going to do a slow, slow, fast, fast. So you can hear the difference in the rotary speaker or the Leslie speaker here. They've made some improvements on the Organ 3. Let me know what you think on those, if that's an improvement compared to what's in the Nord Stage 4. And then let's go to stop mode on both of our rotary speeds. Let's turn the C3 chorus on both of these. I'm gonna do that here. And then we'll go from stop to fast and back to stop. Let's do one more test. Let's bring percussion in. I'm gonna go with just a slow fast on these. Let's keep the C3 on and let's go with the percussion without the harmonic third, but we're gonna go with the soft volume and the fast decay on both. Let's drop back to just the first 3 drawbars. Let's add in that harmonic third on both. Now, when it comes to effects on both of these, the Organ 3 has modulation, which gives us our ring modulation, tremolo, phaser, flanger, and chorus. We have all of those and more on the stage 4. We can set these to just be on the upper instead of on both, which we could do with the stage 4 and layering as well. We have an equalizer, which gives us pretty much the same stuff as the equalizer on the 4. We have our delay, which gives us the ability to put delay, and then reverb. So very similar in terms of the effects. We can put the reverb pre-rotary or post-rotary. So just a couple of organ-related things on the effects. We've got some other little settings here. For example, we can do an effects bypass on our bass pedal. We can do some sustaining stuff on our bass pedal. And then on our drawbars, where we have one preset on the stage 4, we have our A and our B drawbar setups here. Plus we have the ability to save 3 presets that are global, that sit above the actual program in the model, the organ model itself. We can set up 3 presets per manual, which give us more possibilities in terms of saving sound on there. Now on the output side of things, with the Organ 3, we have an 11-pin rotary speaker output, which will also work if you've got the slow fast, it'll communicate that. You can do a half moon switch on both of these really. Output wise, we have of course the stereo left and right. We also have an aux out if you were gonna do a separate output there, but it's just a mono output, whereas we have 2 stereo sets on the stage 4. MIDI, we've got that. And I mentioned, while you don't have velocity sensitivity with the organs here on the Organ 3, it will communicate that over MIDI, which is pretty cool. And then we have sustain pedal, swell pedal, rotary control. We have all of that on the stage 4. Then of course, headphones on the front of the Organ 3, on the back of the stage 4. Now, obviously the stage 4 can do quite a bit more outside of organs. I'm not even gonna go over that because the Organ 3 doesn't have that at all. And I would say for me, just to wrap this video up, the Organ 3 to my ears sounds like it has a little bit more character and clarity to it than the Nord Stage 4. So which should you get? It really comes down to what do you need? And that's really the motto of Nord, is their different models are very similar in the sounds they produce, but they're different in the capabilities they're designed for. So the Stage 4 obviously is going to give you organs, piano, synths, all of that, plus more effects than you have. But the Organ 3, 2 physical keybeds, 2 sets of drawbars, more organ functionality. So if you are the organ player, then the Organ 3 is going to ring a lot truer to you. You can even get the full pedal boards for these. You have the 11-pin output, so you can go to a traditional or a real Leslie speaker, whereas you're a little bit more limited in the Stage 4. I think this was a fun comparison. For me, it was nice to hear these side by side and kind of get an idea for the sound and the differences that they provide, but it can be subjective. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, stay inspired, and keep making that music.